excited to welcome to the show Juno-nominated recording artist Jamie Fine, who has a brand new EP out that I've been waiting for months. 8 Garden Gate. Jamie, welcome back to the show.
Buddy, I come on here to get hyped up.
Okay. This is perfect. I love it. I have so many questions for you. So first of all, the last time I interviewed you was just after the news broke that you and Elijah had decided to go your separate ways for solo careers. So how has that journey been in the last like 2+ years? Because like I interviewed you like October of 2020.
Yeah, it was a while ago. You know what? It's been two of the most there's a couple adjectives I could use. Two of the most tumultuous for sure. I've never learned more lessons than I have in the last 2 years. But it came through or with a lot of tough lessons, a lot of grieving, a lot of loss, and a lot of really great times as well. Like it was so, there was no middle ground these last 2 years. It was either super high or super low. And that was tough to say the least, but proud I got through it for sure.
Now, do you and Elijah, because I know when we last spoke, interviewed, I should say, we've spoken since then, but like he was involved on some level with your single Sellout that came out at the time. Do you guys still collaborate at all or no?
We don't. There's one song on my own on the EP that he was part of when we first did the first version of it. But no, not since then. I think Sellout was tough because we were thinking about Sellout kind of being our next song at the time, I believe, if I remember correctly. And when I had kind of decided to walk away from the project and walk away kind of from that group, Sellout was a really interesting time for me because I actually kind of thought about going with a different record. And my team at the time was like, no, you got to go with this one. And we put Sellout out and it kind of didn't really go the way that we had planned it. And I think that was the final hurrah for me of being like, okay, I gotta take a step back and like really reevaluate what I want. And so it was kind of a blessing in disguise that song came out, because it really launched me into this like, okay, I'm taking care of me right now and reevaluating me in this industry.
At the time, you had put on social media a quote that said that you needed to fall in love with music again. So since that, the 2 years plus, have you fallen in love with music again?
I have, like, madly, madly, madly. Yeah, I hadn't with Sellout. I think it was one of those things where it was me selling out while putting out a song called Sellout, you know, and I have to be as honest as I can about that. It wasn't until I took the last 2 years completely back, and wrote for other amazing artists and really decided to let myself wonder if I ever wanted to be an artist again. And that was the toughest question I've ever had to ask myself and the toughest process I've ever had to go through. But taking the pressure off me being an artist allowed me to remember why I wanted to be one in the first place. I'm like so thankful for that process.
So new EP is out called 8 Garden Gate. So explain title and also explain the sequence of the songs 1 through 6.
Yeah. So 8 Garden Gate is my childhood home. Don't go visit it. There's other people living there, not gonna be happy with me. 8 Garden Gate was my childhood home, and when it's the only home I had ever lived in up until 18, and then I had moved out with my first partner, and then I had been back a couple times. Sorry, Ian, fine. But it was kind of this place for me that it was my safe place. It was somewhere that I just felt like I could be me. And I was so comfortable there, and every other part of my life kind of felt always really uncomfortable throughout my whole life until I really came into myself. And my parents decided to put that house up for sale, and I was like, y'all, why? And I was like a couple years away from being able to like buy it myself, but the neighborhood was changing, and it was like my parents were like, no, like we're done with this place. And I was devastated. And when it sold, all these things were of course not connected, but it felt like this catalyst for all these really, yeah, just like things happening in my life. And they happened one after another, and there wasn't enough time in between each to like process them in the way that I usually would, process them in the way that I believe in processing things. And so throughout the process of writing this EP, I realized I had to let go of that house just as much as I needed to get through all the things that happened after that house sold. And that's why I felt like it was a fitting title. If you listen to the EP from song 1 to song 6, it starts with me at this time in my life where I was like, I don't know if I can get, get out of this. And I don't know if I can, I don't know how. And as as dark and honest as that is, it's as honest as I can be. And the last song ends up with me in the most incredible place I've ever been in throughout my entire 29 years, the most grounded. And I would say I still live in highs and lows, but I'm better equipped to deal with all of it. And just with the most incredible people around me and the most incredible team that I've always wanted. And it's incredible to kind of see the process listening back to the EP 1 through 6. I'm like, oh God, it's not just about me going through it. It's about me getting through it. And I don't think I've ever written a project like that before.
Obviously, all of the songs are your babies, but as we speak right now, is there one that particularly calls out to you?
I mean, I think Confessions is always going to be hold a special place kind of for me. It's about a lot of really tough things in my life, and it's about all of them at once. For You, the last song on the EP, is probably one of my favorite songs I've ever written. It's about my partner now, Vic, and I've always wanted to write a song like that without being cheesy, and I think that I accomplished it. Hopefully, don't friggin' answer that if you think differently. But I feel like I accomplished that with this song For You. So I'm that one, and performing it live is like, it's the greatest feeling in the world.
So you mentioned 29, so 30 is on the horizon.
30's on the. I'm excited.
Are you excited? Because I know for some people it's like when I was 29, I wasted half the year being upset about turning 30. And
Nah, I'm excited. I'm like, you know what? I think I've heard enough people say you peak in your 20s or 30s, excuse me. And I peaked in like grade 8, and it was all downhill from there. But no, I hear that 30s are phenomenal. I think 20s are for learning. I think it's for falling flat on your friggin' face and learning how to get back up. And I did that in my 20s more than enough times, and I feel so equipped for 30. It's ridiculous. So I'm pumped.
now I also follow you, unsurprisingly, potentially stalking you a little bit on social media. So I see the happiness that is exuding from you now, I think for many reasons, but also because of your love that you've got going on.
Yeah.
So is that playing a part in the way you're writing music these days? I know you spoke about For You being of this relationship, but now, like, are you all about writing love songs for the next little while? Because
I will never only write love songs ever. I'm dark and twisty like Meredith Grey, buddy. You can't change me. You know what? I love writing. Of course, I'm a very like emotional songwriter. I love writing about what I feel in the moment, and of course, most days I am outrageously in love. But I love being real. And I think that's one of the things I love about Vic is that she allows me to express myself without any limitations. When we're having a tough day, I'm writing about it. And it's devastating. And then the next day we work through it and I'll write about that. And I think it's nice to kind of have a partner next to me that I don't feel insecure writing that way, because there's a lot of people I've been with who are like, wait, is this about me? And like they get really insecure. And in the back of my head, I'm like, sure is. Sure freaking is. But I can't say that, right? Or else it'll come out on a relationship. We're such a strong partnership that I'm able to do what I need to do to get my emotions across in what I do, which is music.
Now, last check, you were living in Ottawa, and I know obviously when you were with Elijah, you were doing work in Toronto, you've been in Montreal. Like, where is home now? And if it's still in Ottawa, do you think you will have to move to Toronto or Montreal full time at some point?
Home is still Ottawa. You couldn't pay me to move to Toronto. You could not pay me money. If you said, Jamie, I'm giving you $1 billion, I'd be like, go give it to somebody else. I'm not doing it. I just can't find my calm in that city. I think the music industry is quite different in that city. Don't get me wrong. I don't think there's a huge music industry in Ottawa, but there's a talent there that, and this isn't speaking poorly on Toronto. There's huge talent everywhere in every city you can find it. But Ottawa is my place, and I feel most calm there and most safe there. I would rather like fly in and out. In fact, I've done this many times. I'd rather fly in and out same day to Toronto. It's a 45-minute flight. You know, that it takes longer to get downtown Ottawa in rush hour traffic. So I'd rather fly in and out of Toronto any day, every day if I had to.
Now that concerts are back, you know, as we've rolled through the crazy that was the last 2.5 years, do you plan to do shows coming up in the next like X amount of months? And will we see you here in Montreal?
For sure. I just played Toronto and Ottawa, and I wanted to kind of get those under my belt. We actually weren't even planning on playing a lot before the end of the year. And it just kind of happened. And we were able to sell out both rooms, and that felt really good. And I think it got us on this kick of being like, oh, we gotta get back on stage, because we were, as you mentioned, like we were missing that for a couple of years, and it's such a huge part of what I love about what I do. Um, Montreal is a really important city to us. It has, you know, I think they're like my second biggest listening city on all platforms. So I just released a song with Alicia Moffat, who Montreal knows well, and I'm hoping that's going to kickstart me being able to do a show. I'm playing a couple with her, I think. So it'll be a lot of fun getting back in this market. When we played Telus with Mariana's Trench, that was my drummer's favorite show we've ever played, ever. You guys party like you should be put on the map. I don't know how you do it.
That's how we roll. Like
Bro.
1,000,000%, 1,000,000%. And by the way, like, you know, we still spin your Elijah tunes on, you know, on Virgin here. And
Love
like,
it.
it's just like, there's a reason why we're still playing it. You know what I mean? Here in Montreal. So you're the bomb.
You guys
Now
have
that Eight
always been day
Garden,
ones, man. Holy.
now that Eight Garden Gate is out, what is up next for you? Like, are you writing songs for other artists? Like, are you writing more stuff for you? Like, what's coming?
You know what? I finally found a really healthy balance of both. I got some really cool opportunities last year to write for some really cool artists. And I'm continuously doing that, working, you know, collaborating with some great people domestically and some great people abroad. And you know, finding a healthy balance between being able to do my own artist stuff as well. I'm glad to say we have like a roster ready for next year already. I went to LA last month with my producer Bynan. And we just collaborated with such cool songwriters and other producers and made music that I'm really excited to put out for next year. Eight Garden Gate was like me hitting this gas like I never have before and saying, this is the quality of music you're going to be getting from me, and this is the array of music you're going to be getting from me. And now that that wall's kind of down and that barrier's down, the music's just pouring out for both myself and for other people as well.
How would you categorize your sound these days? Like, what is Jamie Spine's sound?
I mean, I think everything's pop, you know, like, you know, what makes a pop song is structure. But I really, you know, I said this from the beginning when I was back with Elijah Wizik's Jamie Fine. I always kind of said that my music wouldn't have any limitations, but they did. And now I can finally kind of make music that has everything. If you listen to this EP, again, top to bottom, you have a ballad, you have a bubblegum pop record, you have a TikTok song, you got something that's a little bit more funky, and then you have like a singer-songwriter love song. That's what I want with my music. I don't have boundaries with my music. You know, you're not going to see me probably rapping on a record anytime soon, more than likely. But I want to do everything and everything, and I want the cohesive thing to be my voice. And as long as there's that, I think I'm good.
Now, I want to put out into the universe, and hopefully you'll agree with me. I want like a Jamie Fine collab with like Alessia Cara, or maybe like a Tyler Shaw, or like a Jocelyn Alice. If you and Jocelyn,
Alessia,
are you like are
call
you
her.
buds with like Jocelyn Alice? Like, you guys should connect.
We, you know what, we know of each other for sure.
Let's
Yeah, all
connect
those
these
guys
dots.
I know that. Let's go. Oh
I
God.
I love the two of you, and I would be obsessed if you guys release a song, because I also put it out into the universe that Jocelyn should work with Ria May, and they did, right? So
Friggin' right. Oh, Jocelyn's voice melts me. She's an incredible songwriter as well.
yeah.
Yeah, I think we were kind of chatting, I think, back and forth a little bit. And I think all those collabs are like so important. And now that I've gotten a chance to be in the rooms again, because for
Mhm.
2 years everything was over Zoom and we got real sick of it real quick. I think now that we've gotten the chance to like be in rooms again, it feels so good to collaborate that like I'm on a collaborative kick right now.
Amazing. So that's in the universe. Before I let you go, I have a couple of questions for you, but the last big one, I guess, is what message do you have for your Montreal fans?
Oh God, let's party. And that's it. Let's friggin' party. Show me how it's done. No, honestly, that Tella show was one for the books. We watch it back over and over again to remind ourselves of the standard of show we want to play. And that's not because we were on fire that night. It was because you guys were on fire that night. And I don't think there's seldom a crowd that gives me that energy back, and Montreal does it. So I can't wait to play in front of you guys again. And thank you for supporting the music like day friggin' ones always since the beginning. And it means the world.
Couple of fast fact questions for you. What is your favorite way to procrastinate?
Oh God. Oh, Vampire Diaries.
That's fair. What is your favorite takeout food?
Golden Palace in Ottawa.
Okay, what is that?
It's the greatest Chinese food restaurant in the world. Their egg rolls are famous. They ship them all around the world, and they sell them at Sens games. So Golden Palace.
Now, if you could collaborate with any artist or producer on the planet right now in the top 40 world, who would it be and why?
Lewis Capaldi. Easy Lewis Capaldi. I just met him in LA, actually. I think he's one of like the funniest dudes, and he is unforgivably him, and he makes no apologies, but then he makes us bawl our eyes out. And I'm like, how do you have a song that makes me cry, and then you have a billboard with you in your underwear? I don't understand, but that's my aesthetic. That's what I want in life. So Lewis, 100%.
Okay, cool. If you could change places with any artist for one day, who would it be and why?
I mean Lewis, but if I could change places
for one day, like just one day.
Just one day.
Yeah, just to see what their life is like.
You're the worst. I was doing so well.
By the worst, do you mean the best?
Yeah, that's true. You could see it that way. I would say Shawn Mendes before he took a step back, because clearly his life is very tumultuous, but playing in that stadium with that crowd, I have always wanted to experience. Now I would probably say Ed Sheeran, because he's like, he can do whatever he wants whenever he wants, and he seems to have a really cool life.
Who is the coolest person in your phone apart from your family and friends?
Good one. You. You're pretty sick. I would say Guy Fieri for sure. Guy Fieri for sure.
That ranks up there. I don't know if he comes quite to me yet, but like that's
no. Like it's you, and then I said second. You know, that's why I said him second, because he's like, you know.
I love you. I'm so proud of you, and I cannot wait till you come to Montreal. So thank you for doing this.
I appreciate you. Thank you. You're 10 out of 10 always.
That is the always amazing Jamie Fine. Make sure you follow her on her Instagram at Jamie Fine Music. Hey, it's Kelly. Thank you so much for hanging out and watching and listening to our interviews. We always appreciate your time. Please make sure to follow us on our YouTube channel, and also hit up our website so that you can subscribe to our newsletter so you are always up to date with everything that we have got going on with the show. KellyAlexanderShow.com/subscribe.